What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be reviewing the game Clue Master Detective. This game came out from Parker Brothers in 1988 and it is for 3 to 10 players. Now the object of Clue Master Detective is you're going to try to solve a crime, a murder to be more specific. You're going to try to determine who, with what weapon, and where in the mansion that it happened. The murder of Mr. Body. This game has some differences from the original Clue game, and I'm going to go ahead and show them to you right now. Okay, everybody, as always, we'll go ahead and start with the components. We'll start with our game board. This game board folds over here, and then there's a middle. Fairly big board. Here's my hand so you can take a look at it. As you can see, there are a whole bunch of different locations here. This basically represents a mansion. Everybody, all the characters are going to start in the cloakroom, and there's 10 of them. And all of them are going to be there no matter how many people are playing. And so you got a gazebo, you got a fountain, stuff outside, you got a carriage house, whole bunch of different rooms in this. Now, as far as the characters go, there are 10 of them, as you can tell, and they've added a few. Here's who they are. You got Sergeant Gray, M. Brunette, Miss Peach, MME Rose, Miss White, Mr. Green, Miss Peacock, Miss Scarlet, Professor Plum, and Colonel Mustard. So all of the characters, and they're going to be represented by these tokens over here. Now you also have a variety of weapons, and there's also a set of cards here that represent each room and all of the weapons. And here are the weapons, and these are nice weapons. These weapons look really nice. Anyway, here we got a candlestick, we got a rope, we got a dagger / knife, we got the wrench, we got the lead pipe, we've got the revolver. We've got poison that has a pretty cool little emblem on there, and we have a horseshoe. Now, at the beginning of the game, all these are going to be set off to the side, and what you're going to do is you're going to go through the 3 stacks of cards, which have the suspects, the weapons, and the rooms in them, and you're going to take out 1 card of each of them, and then you're going to put them in the confidential file folder. Now what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to guess which of the cards are in here, and if you can do that, you're going to win the game. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start. What you're going to do is you're going to start by rolling these dice, and you're going to basically be moving around the board. Now on the board you have doorways over here. These are not going to count as a space, and you also have certain places that have secret passages. For example, there's one in the conservatory. If you land here, this will take you to the drawing room over there, and vice versa. You have the kitchen, which will take you to the library, and you've got a few others. A couple of other movement rules. You're not going to be able to land on the same space as somebody else. You will be able to jump over them. You cannot move diagonally. Now another movement rule is that you can't double back and land on another space, so you wouldn't be able to do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyway, let's go ahead and just show you how this game works. So we start by rolling, and let's just say I will be Professor Plum over here, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll end up in the billiard room. Now what I'm going to do is do what is called make a suggestion. And what that basically means is I'm going to basically suggest a suspect, a weapon, and this room over here, and see if I can go ahead and start marking things off on this sheet. Now it's going to be process of elimination. As you're going throughout the game, people are going to start showing you cards, and any of the cards they show are, you're going to simply mark off over here because they're not going to be in that confidential file folder. Now, if you looked, I went ahead and I marked off all the things that are on my card. And so typically what you're going to do is when you get in here and you decide to make a suggestion, and here's a way you can do it. I suggest that it was Miss Scarlet in the billiard room, and you'll move Miss Scarlet in there with the candlestick. And so then you'll put the candlestick over there. And so what everybody's going to do is that they're going to go ahead and look at their cards and see if they have one of those 3. So player 2 is here. So player 2 is looking, and player 2 has the billiard room. So what player 2 will do is he will either give this card or secretly show this card to player 1, and then player 1 will go ahead and mark this off on his sheet over here, right here. Now, in the original game, the person's turn is going to end, but in this game everybody has to look through their cards to see if they happen to have anything. So player 3 is going to go ahead and look and see if he has anything, and it looks like player 3 does not have anything. And player 4 also does not have anything. So part of what the strategy is, if you want, you can actually get suggest items that you've already marked off. And what that can do is that can kind of fake your opponents out and make them think that that item might actually be in there. And so that's kind of how that works. So then the next player is going to roll, and say the next player goes and he goes 6, and let's just say he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ends up in the courtyard. Now he's going to go ahead and do the same thing, and let's just say he says, I think it was myself, Colonel Mustard, in the courtyard with the revolver. So he'll put the revolver in there. And so then you'll repeat the process, only to be for player 2, and everybody will go ahead and show one card. Now, if it turns out that a player has like more than one card that the other player suggested, he's only going to show them one card. And you also have these secret sleuth spaces, I believe that's what they're called. What these will allow you to do is they will allow you to draw one of your opponent's cards, look at it, and then put it back into the pile. Now, while you're moving, you'll be able to actually stop and then continue your movement. What he could do is he could go 1, 2, 3, stop there, and do the snoop, which would be like drawing someone's card and looking at it and putting it back, and then continue his movement onto here, and then continue his turn. The game is going to keep going on like this until someone decides to make an accusation. And basically what that means is on your turn, if you think you know the cards that are in here, you will go ahead and make an accusation, say, I accuse so-and-so of doing the murder with this weapon in this location, and then that person is going to go ahead and look at the cards. And if it turns out he is right, he is going to win the game. If it turns out he is wrong, he'll be out of the game, but he'll still have to show people any cards that he may have. And so anyway, guys, that is Clue Master Detective. So my final thoughts on Clue Master Detective. Well, this is another one of those games I found at a thrift store when I was visiting Franklin, North Carolina. A heck of a find. This game typically goes for around $25-30. Now, they did re-release this game not too long ago, and you can get it like at a bookstore, like Barnes & Noble or something like that somewhere. It's probably around $30 or so. Well, if you like the Clue series, yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this game. Plays very similar to the original, but it has a lot more weapons. It's a bigger board, bigger rooms, more people. So it's just more of the same with some different rules added in there. Now, when we first played this game, it took a while for us to finish because we didn't read all the rules right. For one thing, we just my turn would end after somebody would show me a card that I had suggested. We didn't go all around the room, which we should have done. That will make the game go by faster. The snoop spaces are also pretty cool. One thing I would do is I would kind of hang around the snoop space and kind of go over it and then draw a card and everything like that, and then on my next turn I do the same thing. The only thing with that is you may end up drawing the same card, and you're not gonna, and sometimes depending on your roll you might not be able to get to a room that you need to get into. So you know, so it's really just kind of a decision you need to make. Now, I know some people don't like Clue, but they like some other deduction games like 221B Baker Street, which is a very, very, very cool game. Would I recommend this game to them? Probably not, just simply because it plays very similar to the original Clue, and even though it has the added rules, which I like, it might not be enough for them to give this game a try. I really like the way the board looks. It's big, and it got some very nice artwork on there, and the cards are pretty nice too. I wish they would have made miniatures for the tokens. I have a Clue game that has miniatures of the characters on them, and they look really nice. I kind of wish that this version had it. Now, the newer version may have that, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's my review of Clue Master Detective. We'll see you later. Keep on gaming.